Today's topic we have IAM, okay, Identity and Access Management. So here basically, what exactly is the IAM? So IAM used for user group and permission management. Okay. So here we will find four new terms. One is a user, which you already know. Why we create a user? Because in AWS we will get a root account when we create account or when we take the service from AWS. That root account will be capable of performing anything inside the account. Whatever service you want to take, what are the changes you want to do, he can do because he is the root. If in an organization we are working as a four members or two members, more than one members, then we cannot use the same user account, because if two people are working there and both are using the same account, then how you will know who has done which changes? It is tough to track the changes done by a specific user. Also, you want to control the access. Like suppose he is responsible for some specific service only, so I don't want him to use any other thing. In that also I want some person just to monitor the services, whether everything is going fine or not. So I want to control the rights of any person. For that, we need to create a user. So one is user, second is group. We create a group to apply similar type of permission on multiple user. Okay. So user group. Third option is permission. Permission means what are the rights we want to give. Like for example, we have done EC2. In EC2, what this user can do? He can access machine, or he can create machine, or he can delete machine. So what rights you want to give, that you can give with the help of permission. One more term is there, that is role. So what is the difference between permission and role? Permission is directly applied on user or group, but role is applied on services. Understood? Role is always applied on services, because when you create any service and that service need to talk with another service. For example, if we talk about auto scaling, in auto scaling what happen? Automatically it will create the machine. Okay, so it has to talk to another service. It has to create automatically the machine. So this feature need the permission. Similarly, the lambda need to execute some work. We have we have written some script that when these things happen, do this work. So if lambda has to perform any work, it needs rights. So that right we cannot give directly with the help of permission. We have to give with the help of role. Is it clear? So the difference is, one is permission, another is role. Permission can be individual. Okay, like for every services you can give individual permission to a user. But when we talk about role, role can be a single permission, or role can be group of multiple permissions. Means inside a role you can assign multiple different permissions to a service. Is it clear? So permission is applied on user or group, and role is applied on services. When service need to access another service or perform any activity in another service, then we use role. That is why if you check somewhere, it will be written when service need to talk to another service. So they are not there to just talk. Talk means if it need to fetch any information from another service. Okay. Then the next is MFA, multi-factor authentication. So multi-factor authentication is what? In our account, we create password, username, password. Along with that, to harden the security, we can have biometric, we can have OTP, okay, we can have any authenticator based OTP. So these are called multi-factor authentication, or you can say two-step verification. Okay. So this all things we are going to perform here. So IAM allow us to create user, assign permission to user, group and roles. Why I have written group and roles? Because in roles also we have to assign permission. Role will be just a name. Inside that you have to assign the permissions. Assign permission to group and roles. We do not use root user to perform day-to-day activity. Okay. We create separate user or IAM user with respective privilege to perform day-to-day activity. Okay, because root account we don't give access to everyone. We just create a user account and then whatever task he has to perform, we give permission according to that. Provide a separate URL for IAM user to log in. Okay, we have a solution that we can give a separate URL, a link through which he can log in directly. So what will be in that link? If user want to log in directly, yes he can. Like how we log in aws.amazon.com. The IAM user can also log in with the same. But the difference is if normally he is trying to log in, he need to give account ID. So if the user remember account ID, he can log in directly. Else we can give a link where automatically account ID will be filled. Then multi-factor authentication. IAM policies are applied to user group role and it is written in JSON format. Okay. So if you want to modify anything, you have to write in JSON format. Okay. But generally it is not required. Already lot of options are there. Just we select graphically. That is enough. Okay. Now you see when we are going to log in here, it asks account ID. You see, this is what written I am user sign in. I am user sign in means normal user sign in also you can understand in a simple way. So first it is asking account ID or account alias. We can also create account alias. We cannot remember this much, so we can create a short name for that account ID. Then username, IAM username, password, and if multi-factor is applied, then we use multi-factor also. Here we have sign in. Sorry, sign in using root user email. So here also we have both the option root or you want to log in with IAM. You see when you go with IAM, again you have to give account ID. So now we have logged in as a root account. Here we will search for IAM. So this is the IAM dashboard. Here it shows security recommendation. First, root as MFA, multi-factor authentication. Just now I have put the code. How many user group is created? Nothing. Two policies is created. You see. And another is this. So let me remove because this all is created by me. So always, whenever you are working in this AWS, wherever there is a dashboard, go and check in the dashboard what are the things you have created during exercise and you have left it unused. System generated things will not get deleted. Charger निकाल के लगाओ. Now it's deleted, which I have created. Again, I will go in the dashboard. You see, no policies are there. So policies and this permission which you apply on user group and add in the roles are same. Now here you see roles. How many roles is created? 14. You see, these all roles. So these all roles when it was created, when I am practicing for anything, like you see, Amazon Elastic File System, automatically created, service to service discussion. Okay, and some I have created by my own. और पीछे है, चला जाएगा. See, ऑन हम आके कर दें. नहीं है पावर उसमें, ऊपर लगा. उसी पर रख दो, चेयर पर रख के ले. In bulk you cannot. And one more thing, this user is created globally. It's not a region specific. Whatever role permission user you create, that is created globally. Okay. Now, starting with the first option, that is user and group. So here you see there is a no user. To create a user account, sorry, this one is to create group, this one is to create user. So it's depend on you. If you have multiple user, you want to apply similar type of permission, then only you will create user or group, and then apply the permission on group and create user. For example, I have a user, suppose tag users I have created as a group name. Add user to group. As of now, nothing is there. You want to apply any permission to this user? Lot of permissions are there. I don't want to apply now. Or if you want, let us search. Just for example, EC2. So there you will see there is a lot of options. In that also, you expand it. Register only, read only. Similarly, you check Amazon EC2, read only access I want to give. Understood? Full access if you want, you can give full access. So I've created a group and assigning permission to this group. So this can be one step, or you can just create a group. You don't want to assign permission at the same time, later you want to assign, that option is also there. So I've created a group, okay, but you see no user is there in the group, and permission is also defined. Later if you want to add some more permission, you can go inside, and here you have the option of permission. You can add permission to the group. Understood? Attach policies. So when you go again, you can select what he can do. Understood? Like for example, I want to give permission on S3. What? S3 full access. Attach policy. So now if you see in this group, there are two permissions available here. Later, if you want to add any user in this group, you have the option add user, and you will get the user list and you will add user. Understood? So this much work only we can do with the group. We can create a group, we can assign permission on the group, also we can add user to the group. Okay. Later you want to remove permission from the group or user from the group, just select remove, option is there. Coming to a user, how we create a user? To create a user, here we have the option user name Sunil, provide user AWS management console access. Yes, I want. Specify a user in IAM, sorry, identity center. It is recommended. Or you want to create a IAM user. So what is the difference? If you specify user in identity center, then this user will have the programmatic access. Programmatic access means what? The user can manage AWS console through command line also. Okay. So if you want user to manage this console, sorry, this Amazon services through command line, then you have to give programmatic access. Then you will select the first option, or you can use the second option. I just want to create IAM user, normal user. Then how you want to keep the password, auto generated or custom password? It all up to you. Auto generated means it will give a very long password with mixture of all the things. If you want to specify password by your own, you can set a password. Okay. I think it will not take. must user must create a new password in next sign in. What does it mean? Hmm? When user is going to log in for first time, it will prompt to change the password. Okay. So generally, when we are working in organization, then we will check mark in this. Now I will not check mark. Okay. So when we create a user account, we will give the details to the user. This is your user ID, this is your password. So when he is going to log in for first time, he can change and set password as per his own choice. Okay. For that we have this option. Then we have next. Here, what you want? You want this user to add to any group, or you want to attach policies directly, means you want to give permission directly to the user. If you want to give permission directly to this user, we have these all permissions. Or if you want to add this user to any group where already permissions are there, then you can select add user to a group, and here you can see the group name. Select it. Next. And this is your details. Now create user. So the user is created. Now, once the user is created, you can download this CSV file and give it to the user. What does it contain? Here it contains the URL, password for that user. You see, this is the username, this is the password, and this is the login URL. So what user will do? This user will select this URL and he can log in directly. You see the account ID is there now, starting numbers. So account ID is now filled by itself. Now the user has to just give the username and password. So this user has logged in. You see Sunil. Okay. You see these all access are denied. For the first time when he is going to log in, let us see as per the permission what he can do. EC2. If he is trying to create any EC2 machine, whether he is able to, we have given read only or read only for EC2, na? Let us see. Server 1, as it is. Understood? The user is not authorized to perform this operation. So at least he can explore the options, but he cannot create because we have given read-only access. But in S3, we have given full access. So if he goes in S3, he want to create a bucket. Bucket means folder. So here, if you want to create any bucket, create bucket. Let us see whether he is able to or not. General purpose. And just we want to create. Must not contain uppercase. See, this user is able to create the bucket. Then he want to upload any file inside this, can upload also. Sorry, upload, and then from here he can add files also. So understood, whatever permission we give to a specific user, accordingly that user can perform the activity here. So this point is clear. Return to user list. Apart from the permission applied on this user, I want to give additional permission to this user. By default, you see two permissions are added. Additional, we can directly attach permission for this user. Is it easy or tough? Very easy. So I should not upload the recording. Okay. Yes or no? Upload. Okay. A user can be member of multiple groups also. Understood? The same user can be member of multiple group. You can make him member of multiple group also. Now coming to the security credential. Okay. So for this user Sunil, you see this is created console here enabled without MFA, means for this user account we don't have MFA, multi-factor authentication. Same thing when you scroll down here, you can see the option. He is having the console access, you can manage the console access. Sign in link, if he forget later, a root user can share it once again from here. Multi-factor authentication you can define here. Assign multi-factor authentication device, MFA device, mobile, or anything you can write. These are the options. Pass key or security key like fingerprint or a screen lock, something like that you can set, or any authenticator app like we have Dio, Google Authenticator. So this type of app you have to download it, and when you select this option, then you press next. It will give you a scanner, so that you have to scan from your mobile, means user's mobile, not as a root. So here you can see the list of compatible applications, that which application is compatible with MFA. You see virtual authenticator apps. Where is this one. For Android we have Twilio, Duo, Microsoft Authenticator, Google Authenticator, Semantic VIP. And if you are using iOS, then you have these options available. I think for both there are same only, no change. Understood? So any of these application we have to download and install in our laptop or mobile. Then here you will click on show QR and you will scan it from that option. So in mobile, when you go there, there is a one option like here is the plus in the last. This is Google Authenticator. So when you click here on plus, here you have a scan QR code. So you will scan automatically, it will get added, and then it will show you the codes. Every 30 seconds the code gets changed. Okay. So then once you scan, it will give you option to type your MFA code 2 times. Once you type, then again wait for 30 seconds for the apps to generate new code. Again you give it and then add MFA, it will get registered. Now the next thing what you can do with the user is, certificate based and all authentications are there. Now coming to the next option, that is role. So you can create your own role also. Click on create role for what you want, for any account you want, for service you want. So I want for service. Okay. Select any service or use case for which you want to create the role. I want to create a role, suppose for EC2. Okay. Choose a use case. Allow EC2 instance to call AWS service on your behalf. Okay. Now I want it to schedule instance to work automatically. Next, what permission you want to give. So you see here, there is a full list of permissions which is defined here in the JSON. Okay, if you know it, you can modify it. Then next, what you can do is you can define the name plus here you see add permission. So as of now, it can schedule. If you want to add multiple permissions, you will go in edit and you have the option to add permissions. Next, and then create role. So this role creation is basically done based on the service voice. Okay. So for any specific service, you can create the role. I want to create for entire AWS account belonging to third party or anything. Then you have to select the account ID. Okay. Here, any type of use case like the same. Suppose I want to take for auto scaling. What are the use case you want for the notification or EC2 auto scaling? Here we have the options predefined. Accordingly, we can define the role and all, and then we can create the role. Okay. During the service configuration, when you are going to configure the service, there also you have the option to select existing role or you can create the roles. Once the role is created, inside the role also you can add permissions. Suppose I want to add permission in this, you go in this role. Here is the permission. So as these all are predefined, that's why we are not getting the option to attach the permission here. But with the services, we will get the option to attach. Next is here policies, where you can create your own policies. Okay, for what service you want. I want for IAM. What are the action allowed for this IAM? I want only what he can do, generate the report. So you can check mark what permission you want to give, and then accordingly you will put next. No action is specified. Okay, get the account name, get the group info. Next, and then here you can see we can give the policy name and finally create policies. Okay, so like this we can create different policies. This is identity provider. Okay, where you can add the provider, means some resource can be managed by SML OpenID, means you want the remote authentication. There is a one thing called local database. So what you have mentioned, accordingly things are managed. You want to have any other server or services through which these all things should get managed. Okay. For example, I am working in my organization. So my organization has tie-up with Simply Learn. You know Simply Learn website from where we can read. So they have tie-up. So now if I want to take any course from Simply Learn, so what I have to do? I have to create account on Simply Learn. I don't need. I will go there. I will log in with my official email ID. Understood? And when I log in there, then I will be verified from my company server that whether this user is valid or not. And if I am authorized and based on the permissions, what I can do on Simply Learn, I will be able to do. Another option what I have, I can create account on Simply Learn and with their local database, whatever permissions I have taken any course, I will be able to access that content. So same type of thing is here, identity provider. Means one is we can create here locally and give the permissions. Another we can have with any SML, SAML or any type of that identity provider, or you can say a server through which we can use this user for authentication. So that server will authenticate this user, what user is valid or not and what he can do. Okay. So that is called identity provider. Account setting. So in this account setting, if you see, there is an option called password policy. So in this password policy, by default, things are defined. I am default. If you want to specify by your own, you can set what will be your password character minimum, and these all options. Okay, for your all accounts. Also, there is an option, you see, what are the endpoints allowed. That's why when you see here, you will see which regions are available and which regions are not available for this account. 13 regions are not enabled for this account. So these all regions, if you want to enable and disable, you can manage it from here, you see. Is it clear? Any confusion? So overall, the objective was that we should learn how to create a user group role and permission in this. So now you can create and manage this user group. Hmm. You see, one option was there, na alias. We can create alias here. Go to the dashboard, okay, and you don't want to remember your account ID. So instead, what you can do is create alias Besant. Okay, already exists. Now, what we can do is just let me create one user. Create user Raju. I am custom password test at the rate 05112024. Okay, this is not required. Next, uh, attach policies directly. What this user can do, he can only EC2 full access. Next, create user. See, the user is created. Now I want to log in with this user, Raju. So what I can do is aws.amazon.com. So he will log in like this. So when he is going to log in, it will ask for account ID or alias. Sign in to existing. So account ID or alias we have to give. So here the alias was capital or small. Okay. Raju test at the rate 05112024. Understood the advantage? So instead of memorizing the account ID, you can create alias for that also. Okay. And if the user forget the password, what is the solution? Hmm? You see, it is saying you have not checked or download. Do you want to continue the console password? I don't need it. And the alias which you have created, that also you can delete or change. Clear? So I hope all